Oh, welcome back to the Big Thinker universe. In today's episode, we're going to continue on the theme of getting ready to grow your business. So, yesterday we talked about the power of niche selection. Today, we're going to talk about how do you actually choose a niche. And the premise is really, really simple. I see people trying to be all things to all people, and I can't stress this enough. Marketing is hard when you try to be all things to all people. So, what we have is a sheet, a worksheet that you're going to do. And basically, you can just do this on a piece of paper, but we're going to pick three potential niche avatars and describe them at a high level below. So, for example, column one, you might have avatar one, and then a column two, and a column three. And the first thing we want to do is describe the avatar. How do we know who they are? What demographics do they have? Where do they live? How old are they? Are they self employed? Are they employed? Um, Describe them in English, and how would you describe them to someone else? Again, you'll notice it's a small space. We will define the avatar in way more detail as we go. So the first step is the description. Then the next thing is, are we passionate about them? Do we like them? That is very important. If you're generically attracted to a niche, they're going to feel that generic attraction. But if you're deeply passionate about supporting them, then they will feel that as well and they will be attracted to that. Now, the second thing we need to do, passion is number one, results is number two. And basically, the question we ask ourselves is, can we help them win? And what that means is they need to know that we can help them solve a problem and conquer their enemies. So results and passion are very, very important. Um, but the third element, profit, is also important. Will they pay you? So, as a crazy example, I've seen this over and over. A lot of people think that teenagers who play video games are their avatar. You might be passionate about them. You might be able to literally help them win their games that they play. But you need to ask yourself, do they have the money to pay for whatever you serve or offer? And a lot of people think that, teenagers are their audience. Reality is you need to have the parents on board in most cases. So think about this for every avatar. Yes, you want to describe them, but you need all three elements. You need passion, you need results, and profit. And so, for today's little exercise, my challenge to you is to identify your top three existing niches and write down as much as you can about the avatar so that when we do the more detailed work, you're ready. And here's the thing, limit yourself to three for the purposes of we're doing a 100-day challenge. Pick the top three, and you probably even end up picking your top one. But the reality is, if you learn the lessons and you apply it with your top three, you can replicate that across other niches. But the reality is, if you do really well in one niche, do you really want or need other niches? So do this little exercise. This should take you 10, 15 minutes tops. And believe it or not, this is the one thing I see businesses struggling or putting in too much time and effort, not making enough return. Um, they won't do this exercise because they're, quote, too busy. The reality is you're too busy because you're trying to serve too many people. And once you get your avatar dialed in and they reach out and say, oh my God, you describe my pain better than I can, they assume that you know how to solve their problem. You make your sales process easier and you get quicker results. So, this is the one thing people say, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't have time to do this. I would argue if you're in business, you don't have time to not do this. This literally gives you time and it saves you from chasing everybody. I'm a big fan. I think it was Death of a Salesman by Miller. There was a character, Willie Lomax, who was always, I'm going to close a deal. I'm going to close a deal. Problem was he didn't know who his avatar was. He tried to sell to everybody. So if you're trying to serve everyone, it means you end up serving no one. This little exercise here, I believe, is the single most important thing any business can do. And really, truly, the only time you don't choose a niche is if you're one of the massive global brands that everybody uses. In that case, you don't need, if you're Walmart, you don't need a niche. You build a store. But having said that, I suspect that when Walmart builds their stores, they look at demographics of their general population to see who shops, who spends, things like that. But unless you're a big global brand like Walmart or Amazon or Apple, you need to know who your niche is. And as I said, we talk about three possible niches here. In the next 100 days, pick one and focus on that niche. If you dominate in your specific niche, you may realize that I don't need to be all things to all people. I'm going to stay where I am. So that's my little trick for fast, rapid growth, is to get really crystal clear on who your avatar is. And tomorrow we're going to get into how we get our avatar to make a buying decision. So thank you for joining, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave some comments below. Thank you.